When people are released from jail, they have the responsibility to appear in court. But some of these people choose to go on the run.
They go back home to mommy.
And that is when these guys come into the picture. So sit back and listen to the Off the Hook podcast with Chad and Rob.
Very fine people on both sides.
These are real stories, but the names have been changed.
What's up, everybody?
This is Rob.
This is Chad.
What's going on, guys? So welcome to episode number 2, and we're going to get into it, but first, how was your weekend, Chad?
It was all right, man. Went out, got to jet ski out, went out to the island for a little bit. We had beautiful weather.
Oh, yes. I was there Sunday.
Nice and hot. Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
it was beautiful, man.
Water's warming up.
Man, I tell you, Saturday night, I went to, me and my lady went to, towards Raleigh, and we went to go see Brothers Osborne because we were up there for my oldest son's graduation. So we saw Brothers Osborne; they were really good. And then Sunday went to the same island you were at, and it was great, man. I love the island.
Yeah, a lot of people don't think of North Carolina as having islands or known for their coast too much, but we actually have very nice coastline here.
Yeah, we're not going to tell you where the island's at because we don't want you moving down here and going to it.
That's right. We're a little secret.
Oh, all right. So episode 2, we're going to start getting into it and let you know about some stories. We're going to go to some stories. So, but first off, let's go into how the industry has changed from when you were doing it to when I came in.
Now how we do it now.
Yeah, how we do it now.
Yeah, so when I got into it, like I said, it was 97, something like that.
I'm still in high school.
Yeah, whatever. I was very young when I got into this. I'll say that. We did not have the internet as you know it now. There's been so much improvements on how we do things on the internet to find people. And then it was more of the hitting the street, knocking on doors, getting up with, somebody who knew somebody.
Posting up wanted pictures.
I used to do wanted. I used to take out ads in a newspaper of an area I knew a guy's family was in, and I put actually his picture in a Sunday newspaper and put him on blast and had the whole family calling us.
Can you do that now?
Yeah.
I wonder if we can still do that.
Yeah.
I'm not tried it now.
If he's wanted, we did that, and the whole family called us mad. And I'm like, sorry, your son's a drug dealer, but you're gonna have to face the music, and it worked. That reminded me of some other stories I gotta tell before we forget. And that's why we're doing this, is because I don't want to forget some of these stories over the years, and I thought, people like to hear them. So hopefully you guys will like to hear it.
Yeah, and there's sometimes we'll be sitting here in the office and trying to we're talking about with skips that we got now or something going on with the business, and Chad will be like, "Hey man, you remember this?" I'm going, "Absolutely not."
Yeah,
and I'm like,
and he'll do the same thing.
Yep.
I'm like, I don't remember that, but let's tell the stories before we forget it.
Yeah.
So here we are.
So our first story to start off this whole podcast is going to be one of the craziest stories, not the craziest one.
No, but it's a good one.
It's a damn good one. Stories is a capture we did in New Mexico. All right, Albuquerque, New Mexico. I will not go there for vacation.
No, Albuquerque, you can keep that place.
Yeah, you can keep that
Sorry,
place.
guys, if you're from there.
So it was a $50,000 bond. So, all right, so our insurance company, our surety company, reached out to me and said, hey, we got a bondsman that's got a skip, needs some help. It was a $50,000 bond. Yeah, I think I got it. Yep, $50,000 bond. So, of course, we charge a percentage plus travel. Is typically 10% plus travel. So they play, airlines,
Yeah,
hotel, stuff like that.
So what we do when we get something like this is, first of all, the company, the surety, or the bondsman will email us all the information that they have. We need to know what they've done with it so that we're not backtracking over something that they've already done. We call it muddy in the water because
you don't know who else has been on this thing and what they've done and who they spooked. So once we get everything, we do our research. We see what that state's laws are.
Right, that's first.
That's the very first thing we do. So anyway, after we get through our research, we find out he's in Albuquerque, New Mexico, because he started on a criminal,
Yeah, he was on a journey. He was in, I want to say Florida. And then
he went to South Carolina,
Mississippi,
Louisiana, committed crimes in all these. Now, he didn't show up for his court dates, surprisingly. Goes through Texas,
California,
gets to Albuquerque, goes to California, comes back to Albuquerque.
He was about to leave when we got up to him to Las Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're naming him Rudy. Okay,
yeah, his name is Rudy.
Yeah. So, we find out he does all this and he gets stable in Albuquerque. And come to find out, there's some family. He had one uncle, or
so
her uncle,
we're able to pull information that gives us, family,
addresses and stuff.
We can talk about all that, right?
Yeah.
It's common stuff.
Yeah, we got servers that pull information that we're licensed to have. Like the general public can't have it, but we can. So we get audited and all that good stuff. And I've had them for years. Great services. But what?
So we found one family member out in outside of Albuquerque. I want to say.
No, it was right outside.
Right outside.
City limits, and they don't have grass there. By the way.
So we contact we hook up with a bondsman, bounty hunter out there who knows. You want somebody who knows the area,
because we've never been.
Yeah.
Never been there. Don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, that's the tricky part. Is you're playing in somebody else's backyard, so you don't know the rules.
Richard.
Oh, is it Richard?
Yeah,
that's right. Yep. And so we contacted Richard, and he met with us, and he knows the locals and stuff like that, so he knew the area that we were looking in. And I remember we went and we watched the house, because when you first start getting into this, you don't know who to trust. And we knew that they were relatives, and we knew if there was a relative, this guy had to be, at least going to see them, you would think, because he knows no one else. He's from Mississippi. So...
Yeah, it was Mississippi.
Yeah.
There were so many states. Yeah, that's right. We still got his license. He's been all over the place. Like, I can't remember. Like, he's been so many states committing so many crimes that we don't even, I can't even keep up. But, so in order, all right, so to get back to getting a fugitive from across the U.S., right, it's a pain. So you have to get all your, T's crossed, your I's dotted. You've got to get everything done before you go.
Another thing is we fly one way, and if we can't book a round trip unless we know for sure that we can put our hands on them within a certain amount of time to catch that return flight.
Or I have done this. I've booked a round trip, got insurance on it, and you don't have to pay $20 to change your flight. So I've done that before. It all kind of all depends. You got to play with the system.
Yeah. So usually it's a book one way, because we may, one day trip might end up being 4 days.
And it's got to be American Airlines too.
Yeah.
You can do Delta. We've done that. It's kind of a pain. American is the preferred one because U.S. Marshals use it. They sit you in the back of the plane.
Yeah. When you do catch somebody and you're getting them on, usually we put a shirt around their handcuffs so it just looks like we hide their cuffs. and we get it okayed by the captain to fly with them. And we're usually the first aboard, and we go all the way in the back next to the shitter.
Oh, God.
And we're the last to get off.
And it takes forever because you know how long it takes to get off an airplane?
Yeah.
Everybody likes to stand up and stand there.
Yeah.
It's awful. But so once we get there and we start doing research, we find the aunt and uncle's house. We don't approach it first.
Yeah, because you don't know if they're going to be on your side or they're going to lie to us and tell him you better run.
Yeah, we're out with Richard, and so we're doing our homework. And so of course we get hungry, right? So we stop by we like steak. Okay, me and Chad like visiting.
Yeah.
Every time we go somewhere,
So New Mexico has a thing with chilies. And they call it the Christmas tree. It's the red and green chilies that they like to put in everything. And we're from the South.
our stomachs are not used to.
We're not used to that.
So
It was good, but it wasn't good coming out.
yeah, it hurt.
It hurt our stomachs.
But the owner of the place that we went into, I cannot remember it to save my life.
Yeah, he was super cool.
He was super nice. Took us back to his office, showed us around in the kitchen because he found out who we were and what we were there for, and he told us that anytime we needed anything or
Yeah, it'd be like home base. He said you can set up here anytime, and
Yeah.
like that's nice. You know, you're somewhere that you just don't know anybody or anything. It was nice, but that reminds me of when we were eating, and we saw a couple of police officers that were eating at the table across from us. Remember that?
oh yeah.
And we were like, it's always good to talk to the cops and let them know what you're doing there, and kind of they know crime wise what's going on and stuff more than we would. So we go over and introduce ourselves and tell them what we're there to do. And the first thing I remember the officer said was, "Did you bring guns?"
And I was like, what? I was like, yeah, of course we brought guns.
we got guns. Yeah. He goes, "Good, because you're going to need them."
And that kind of,
Yeah.
I remember looking at Chad, and I remember looking at the cops going, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, we've never had to do this before, right? Like, we've never been approached by a cop and being told this, and they proceed to tell us about a third of the city is called the war zone, and that's where we're at.
Yeah.
And the war zone is exactly how it's described as the war zone.
Yeah, he said at any given night you can stand out on the corner and you can hear gunshots.
I think that's our Alexa going off.
Yeah. I'll tell her to hush my phone. Anyway, yeah, so that's what you're going into is that.
How about that naked chick in the street?
Are you talking about when we got up real early in the morning and went
Yeah.
through the city, like that area and like the back streets where they're shooting up? You can just watch them
Yeah.
as you're riding through.
And the
it,
cops
like
just
4:30 in the morning.
don't care.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to show up for court. Speaking of,
Oh yeah.
why our fugitive had a court date.
Total random luck.
Yeah. Had a court date that one morning. So, of course, we get up and we go to the courthouse. And
Nice place.
Oh,
Very,
yeah.
very modern setup. I was impressed how it was. It had big touch screens for your courtrooms and, all this stuff. Problem is, when you get arrested out there, they bring you to a magistrate and they say, okay, come back in 2 weeks and we'll determine if you need bail. Like, what is that?
Yeah, and the deputies, they even knew that. They were like, yeah, they're not. We won't show up. And I was like, okay, so you're telling me that you know that these guys are not going to show up, and these judges don't know it?
Yeah,
Come on.
We asked them, they said approximately 20% show up for that actual hearing, like 20%.
Yeah, and guess what? We stood there all day or all morning with the deputies at the courthouse. really nice. I have to give it to Albuquerque, New Mexico, the sheriff's department there and the police. They were really good to us. They helped us out as much as they could. And of course, he didn't show up.
Nope.
He didn't show up at all. And so, of course, we go out and kind of regroup. And that's a lot. We have to do that a lot, don't we, Chad? Because, one thing doesn't work. You have to go to plan B. Plan B don't work, go to plan C. Plan C don't work, and then you got to regroup. And I think the next morning we got up because we were out all night at night. I mean, we're looking.
We're just looking and
watching houses, and
I think we had a make on a vehicle, didn't we?
We had a make on a vehicle.
That's all we had. Was just a make of a vehicle and a picture of him.
Yeah, and his court date.
Which
and
from that.
And we had his aunt and uncle's house, so we kind of knew he was in the area, and so the next morning we get up and we go by a coffee shop, and we go to, and this is how bail reform. This is what happens when this shit comes into your state. All right, beautiful coffee shop. Get there that morning and it's not open yet, but we see
crime tape,
and we see a door busted open. And no, the crime tape wasn't even up.
Oh, it was? Oh,
no,
it just happened.
It just had happened. And we pulled up and we're like, the manager pulls up like right behind us and goes, "Hey, we got broken into last night, but it's a common occurrence." I'm like, "Why?" Well, bail reform. So what happens is, see what happens.
Well, like I said earlier, like you get arrested, you go before magistrate, and they say you're going to be released, but we want you to come back in 2 weeks to determine if bail is needed. At that point, you're already released. What kind of sense is that?
They're just laughing at it. And these criminals, career criminals. I'm not talking about somebody who messed up and got a DUI for the first time.
Right. Yeah.
We're not talking about it. We're talking about career criminals like this guy, like traveling through states, committing multiple crimes. He gets in front of a magistrate. Yeah, we're going to let you go.
This is a nice place. They're not going to do anything. I think I'll hang out here for a bit.
Yeah, see you later.
You got a few of those guys, and then you got a nice crime area, which is what they have in the war zone. So
we finally that day we kind of ran out of all of our avenues and leads. So we went and confronted the aunt and uncle. Yeah. Aunt and uncle were pretty cool with us. They were pretty hesitant at first to help us, but we kind of stayed on them too.
Yeah, we explained exactly what he had been doing, and in fact that I think he was with some girl and her kid.
Yeah, it's our wife, whatever you. We get this all the time. Oh, my wife, but they're not legally married. They just say that, and it kind of, so it kind of throws you off a little bit. But they were good, and they helped us out tremendously. And we were driving down the road, and I remember I was on conversation with aunt and uncle, and Chad was looking at his social media.
Yeah.
This is back when.
Well, we got up with the aunt, and I believe she was friends with him on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And she allowed us to sign in. She allowed us to sign in as her. Now, we didn't message him, but back then, this was a couple of years ago, Facebook had a thing where you had friends nearby, and you could click on that, and if they were signed in, you could see approximately how far and what area they were in. It didn't give you exact location, but I clicked on that, and I was like, oh, he's over here within
0.4 miles away.
We got it. No, we weren't that close. We're a couple miles, but we were able to. He was driving, and I was over there with the phone going, nope, wrong direction, turn around. All right, we're getting close. We're getting closer. It was like, getting warmer. Yeah. Oh, you're cold. But it was like that, and we got within a mile of where he was located.
And finally, just after the aunt and uncle was trying to help us out so much.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, they're not responding to us. We got to the point, we had been there for 4 days.
Yeah, we were just about to book our flight to leave.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I mean, you can't stay awake for so long before you start hallucinating.
Yeah,
I mean,
it sucks. You're out there and you're up at all these weird hours and you're chasing this person. But we got a break.
the aunt called.
Yeah,
The
she
aunt
called and said that they were at a hotel.
Yeah, she told us the hotel. I can't remember the hotel, but they told us that they were at a hotel that had a flat tire and he was getting a tire fixed. So of course we start flying straight there. And while I think
I'm over there looking up the hotels that she said and where they were at and where we were at.
And I
think we had like 3 different ones it could have been.
Yeah, and I'm looking at flights because now you got to remember, if you catch this guy, you've got to get to the airport at least an hour and a half before the flight leaves, so you can check yourself in, your guns, your fugitive, and get into the terminal, and you got to be on time. So I'm looking to see. All right, we got enough time to do this if we can do it within the next hour.
Well, yeah. So we were able to find the right hotel, and the car fit the description. We're like, this is it.
Yep.
And I think we were in 2 different vehicles. Richard was following us.
Yep. And we passed him. We didn't see him, but we saw the girlfriend.
Yeah.
So we kind of hung back in the back, and we're on the phone. Richard stops and gets out, and like starts talking to the girlfriend, and we're like, he's not there. So we're already, all right, cover's blown.
Yeah.
So we
once
pull
that
up.
happens, you better make something happen quick because they can just take off.
We'll pull up and we're talking to her, and while we're talking to her, Richard's searching the car, finds two pistols now. 2 pistols.
Mm-hmm.
A convicted felon. She's a convicted felon, and so is he. Finds 2 loaded pistols underneath the seat. So while he's taking us out and unloading them and putting them on the car, I'm standing behind her and I'm talking to her, and this white car drives behind me and pulls in right beside us and stops, and I look over and I see his head. And I've looked at his picture so much, I know what his head looks like. So I run over to the car, yank the door open, and grab him and throw him on the ground. I was not nice about it.
Videos on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. Just I'm gonna have to put that video back up.
Yeah.
But it's in this situation, it's so intense.
Yeah, it happens so fast.
So fast. But
Yeah.
he was with 2 cartel members that were driving up front. We later found out.
Mm-hmm.
So when I yank him out, I see SA up front going, "What's up, Pato?" And I'm like, and I turn around. I'm on top of our fugitive. I turn around and I have my pistol out, and I said, "If you get out this car, you do anything, I will shoot you." So they pretty much haultailed it out of there, and we get him in cuffs, and we put him into the car. The girlfriend's or wife, whatever, she's going crazy.
Yeah.
And come to find out, the kids are in the hotel lobby.
Yeah. Yeah. They just had got there, I think. Yeah.
So at this time, we're trying to calm everybody down. All right, it's done deal. Our fugitive's pretty calm. He's not.
Yeah. He wasn't bad. I mean, he pretty much knew that it was time.
He didn't even know what state he was wanted from because he had done so much
Yeah.
throughout the southern U.S. So I actually go over and I talk to the children and try to calm them down a little bit. And they were pretty calm. Evidently, they're used to it, which is unfortunate. And when I talked to them, they were like, "Okay, no problem. What about my mommy?" I'm like, "Your mommy's fine. She ain't going to jail." And so we get them out. They leave.
Mm-hmm.
And I start getting on the iPad. And I remember booking our flights, running there, like only having like 5 minutes left to book this flight and get the hell out of Dodge. And I think Richard, he helped us out, and he dropped a rental off for us.
Yeah, he did help us. He was a lot of help. I mean, yeah, he did that. Was that the one where you 2 got to go and I had to stay overnight, or?
No, that was a different one.
Oh,
No, we all flew on that one.
oh okay.
So we flew a direct flight from Albuquerque to Charlotte, and then from Charlotte to Wilmington.
Okay.
So here we go. We're getting on an airplane with this guy, and we're in New Mexico. And of course, what do they say, Chad, all the time to us when we're sitting there and everything's calmed down and we're all done and we're ready to get on the plane? What do they say?
Will you bomb me back out?
Other than that one.
That's what they usually
And we go,
say.
hell no, I ain't
That's what
nobody
they
here.
usually, yeah, they usually
No,
want, will you get me back
no.
out?
How did you find me?
Oh, how'd you find me? Yeah, that's our little secret, and that's what we do.
And Chad told me one time, many years ago, he goes,
If you don't tell them how you did it, they'll always want it. It'll always mess with them on how you did it exactly.
and they have to be lucky all the time,
And
and
we
we,
just
have
gotta
to be
do it one
one
time.
time. So I'm definitely I have taken that advice and ran with it, and so we get him. Let's say we get back. We're in the back of the plane. We have the whole entire back row because that's where they put us, and that's where the captain has to put you. Now our firearms are checked because we do not fly in the flying beer can with a firearm, but they are handcuffed, and like Chad said earlier in the show, we wrap their hands up in a hoodie or a shirt or something to cover them up because you kind of don't want to make it.
You don't want to make
known.
people uncomfortable, and he appreciates it, and so we're always cool with them when we catch them as long as they're nice with us. We always tell them, if you're good to me, I'll be good to you. This is just how it's going to be, and let's get through it. So that usually is how it rolls.
So, with all that being said, we saved the insurance company $50,000 and the bondsman $50,000. Now they had to come out the pocket some for our expenses and our fee, but
Well, if it was easy, everybody would do it now, wouldn't they?
yeah. So this is why bail reform does not need to be in our state. For one, you have somebody like this who commits multiple crimes in multiple states that gets away, and they go on the other side of the U.S. Oh, well, let them go. They can keep committing crimes and just move from state to state to state. And they don't care because
What about the people that he offended? That
The victims?
he did wrong. The victims, yeah.
Yeah.
What about them?
the larceny, breaking and entering, there was
know.
drug trafficking.
Sorry, but the guy that you're supposed to be in court with you, he's not available. He took off. Sorry.
Oh, well, let everybody know all this money is zero funded by the taxpayer.
Oh,
by
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. This was not our bond. It was for the surety company or that bondsman, but it comes out of their pocket. You taxpayers don't flip the bill for any
None.
of this. So why would you not support that? You're not paying for it. And it works for everybody. And if we fail to do this job, then the money, that $50,000, would have to be paid to the school board of the county in which that case resides in. So it's kind of a win-win for the public.
Yeah, and so another thing I wanted to kind of bring up is, so this guy here, say he goes from state to state to state, he's committed 10 felonies throughout, all these states. Finally, he'll visit a state like that doesn't have this bail reform mess in there, like Tennessee. Every state has this bail reform mess going on.
To some extent, yeah.
To some extent.
Yeah.
So, and states voted on it first, then it went through judicially here. That's how it come to North Carolina, through judicially, because they didn't want to, speak on a campaign trail. But he finally goes to a state that doesn't have this mess in it, and then he gets jacked up on a bond, and they see where he's committed all these crimes. They jack the bond up. Well, he ain't going nowhere. He's not. But he's got to answer for his crimes there. And then if other states want him, they'll extradite him. And guess where that money's coming out of? Your pocket.
Yeah. Yeah. At that point, yes.
And they'll just take him from state to state to state, and you're paying for it. And at the very end, he's just going to get off with probably with a slap on the hand and don't do it again. And guess what?
You think he learned a lesson?
Nope.
No.
So that was a wild run. That was a new experience for me and Chad. We do not want to go back there again. But we did see the hot air balloons while we were there.
Oh, I remember when we had breakfast one morning and we were with Richard and we were coming out and the sun was just rising. It was pretty. You could see the mountains in the distance. And the van for Breaking Bad rode by.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that? And like he's like, you ever seen that show? And I'm like, nah. But I'd seen commercials and I recognized the van.
I got his last name, Richard's last name now.
Montoya.
So Richard Montoya out there in
shout
New
out to
Mexico,
you.
I'm going to give a big shout out, big thank you. You're awesome. And come on out to the East Coast.
Hope
It's
you're doing
nice and
well,
sunny
man.
here.
Come out and see us.
Yeah, man. It's not dry here. It's very humid.
Yeah.
So, Chad, man, this has been awesome, man. This second episode. I look forward to doing many more, man. And
Yeah. So I'm starting to put in the descriptions links to our site if you want to know more about us, kind of and what we do, and also email if you want to send us any questions or possibly even be a guest. We can do it by telephone or even in person if you wanted to.
that'd be great. I would love to, because not every episode is going to be the same. We're going to have like you said.
we're gonna change it up. We're gonna talk about some topics, and we're gonna have some guests on here. The shows in between, we're gonna talk about our travels, adventures, I guess.
Yeah, and I hope Michelle. We talked about her in the first episode. Michelle, good friends of ours, Esquinazi, and I hope she'll be coming. I promise you, she'll be either dialing in by phone or live in person. Depends on how we can make it work because we're all scattered all over the U.S. So, but for the next episode, episode 3. Let's see, which one is that?
Oh, the Michigan.
Yeah.
trip.
Michigan.
Way.
It was freaking cold. The UP.
Yeah, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Marquette.
Yeah.
Man, it was cold, boy.
Yeah, we couldn't go in the summer. It had to be in the winter, right?
Right. It was January 1st. All right. Just to let you know what day it was. It was January 1st. And it was freaking freezing. I think we got all kinds of Under Armour gear and still cold. The amount of cold up there.
Two Southern boys getting on a plane to go up there. I mean, we left and we had flip-flops and shorts.
Yeah.
We get up there and I'm stopping at sporting goods stores looking for the thickest boots they got.
Yeah. And the deer up there look like cows.
Yeah.
No lie.
We'll save some of it for the next episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man. But,
I will.
But yeah, so eager
Visit
to talk
us.
about that. Yeah.
Visit us.
Come
Off the
check
Hook
us out.
Bell. Right there. offthehookbell.com.
Up. And reach out to us.
Absolutely. So until the next time, we love you. Peace and chicken grease, right?
Correct.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all next time.
You've been listening to Off the Hook with Chad and Rob. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And be sure to follow us for notifications for another exciting episode. But in the meantime, you can go to our website at www.offthehookbail.com to see more. So until next time, stay out of trouble, or it'll be you that needs to get off the hook. See you soon.